Hey guys, Mr. Bowman here. Today's learning objective is in white, and we are learning to calculate the probability of a given event using a uniform distribution. What we always need to do is we always need to start by drawing our diagram. So here's our x and our y axes, and here's our rectangle. And we're working on the scenario where you're at the supermarket, you're doing your shopping, and you are waiting in line because there are big lines at the moment. The minimum time you're going to wait is 5 minutes, and the maximum time you can wait is 15 minutes. And it's pretty equally likely for anything in between those times. Once we've done that, normally what I like to do is I like to label the parameters. So our minimum down the bottom, that is always A, and our maximum, that is always B. And the next thing we need to figure out, we always need to figure out the height of this rectangle. And from the last video, we should remember that the height is 1 divided by B minus A. And in our case, that is 1 over 10. Because 15 minus 5, that gets to 10. The next part we want to do is we want to get into some questions. So question 1, what is the probability of waiting less than 10 minutes? So we need to remember the area of this rectangle. So what we need to do is we need to draw a line for 10 minutes like we would for any other question. And we need to shade in the portion that's relevant to us. Okay, so we'll shade that in. The area of that portion is equal to base times height. The base is 15 minus 5 because that's the difference in that shaded area, and we need to times that by the height, which we already figured out was 1/10. So that is 5 times 1/10, 5 over 10, and that comes down to 0.5. So that means the probability of waiting less than 10 minutes in that supermarket line is 0.5, or half the time. So let's change pen colors. Let's have a go at one more question. We'll use yellow. So question 2, what is the probability of waiting more than 12 minutes? So more than 12. So again, we need to draw a line. So there's the 12-minute mark. We need to shade in the area that's relevant to us. We need to write down our formula. So the area is always going to be equal to base times height. The base of that shape is 15 minus 12, and the height of that shape is 1/10, as we calculated before. That becomes 3 over 10, and that means you have a 0.3 chance, or 30% chance, of waiting more than 12 minutes at that supermarket. So a big part of this calculation was the ability to calculate the height. So please remember that formula. It is 1 divided by the base of that rectangle, and that was discussed in the earlier video if you need to catch up on that. Thanks for listening. Now let's get into heaps of questions.